Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Kind of looking up at you today. Hopefully this will help with the product I'm going to share with you guys. And so this is another holster by Craft. I wanted to share this with you guys again. I've reviewed probably about 4 or 5 different holsters from them. It's a company I've been working with now for a couple of months. I absolutely love the company, and it's awesome to be able to work with a holster company to build brand exposure. And there's a lot of options out there, and a lot of companies like this depend upon influencers, real world people, to give them feedback on their product. So today, this is for the Taurus G2C. This cross draw holster is available in black or brown. It's available for many different model firearms. If you don't have a Taurus G2C, you can probably get it for most firearms. It's a pretty common kind of style, and the reason I requested this one and the reason I got the Taurus was to have something that's a little bit more compact. And I know a lot of you diehard firearm guys, there's lots of other channels you probably watch. This channel isn't specifically devoted to firearms, but for me, when I carry a gun, which is most of the time, I do want it to be comfortable. And what I found is, none of them are really comfortable. I mean, there's not a gun that I own that I'm like, ooh, that feels great. It's always digging, pinching. Now, I understand for you diehards out there, with your... I'll leave it at that. I understand that, you don't carry a gun for comfort. I totally can respect that. But, again, it doesn't stop me from carrying one, but I am looking for something that's going to be most comfortable, right? And what I find annoying with a gun really is if you're standing around, walking around, most of the holsters, no matter whether it's inside the waistband, outside the waistband, are all pretty comfortable. It really comes down to sitting. Sitting is just very uncomfortable with a firearm. And it doesn't really matter where I put the gun. It never feels great. If I have to pick one holster that feels the best, it's probably going to be outside the waistband. And that's common sense. It's not inside. It's not digging. Your body's type. How big you are, how much fat you got, how lean you are. All that plays into how a gun's going to wear in your body. So I like to experiment, try different things, and give you guys an idea of some options. Right. So I picked the cross-draw holster because, from what I've read, this is a holster for a lot of guys who are in and out of a car. And it basically, just like it says, it's a cross-draw holster. And I'm a righty, so of course I got it for the left side. And I'm going to reach across, pull the weapon out. What I want to do is show you guys me putting it on. So bear with me in that process. Just then talk a little bit about, the holster and some of my gripes with this one. Because this is, to be honest with you guys, the second holster I've had from Craft on this one. And I want to explain just a couple things and some things that... if you do have a Taurus G2C and you are going to order this specific holster, something to be aware of. And like I said, I'm always honest with you guys, and this is how companies learn as well to maybe get better and improve their products. Now, Craft holsters, that's the name on the product and the packaging. They also have the name Falco on here, and Falco is another holster company. And to the best of my knowledge, Falco makes the holsters for Craft. When Craft doesn't actually have the holster in stock, I guess. Now, every holster I've received from Craft has Falco on it. So I am kind of leaning towards the fact that Falco makes all their holsters and they're just kind of a secondary name. There's lots of companies like that. Alexander and Sterling Watches, for example. Alexander is made by Sterling Watches. It's a different name on the packaging. But Falco name is on this. So again, I mentioned that this is the second holster. First one I got, the fit was absolutely horrible. Now they do recommend that you stretch these holsters, and leather does stretch. They do give you some break-in solution, but there's not a break-in solution in the world that's going to make this gun fit in the other holster. So I'm pleased to say that this gun actually does fit in the holster this time. It was a little disappointing getting a holster that's supposed to be custom made fit the way the other one did. Going back and forth with my contact a little bit there, in a positive way, of course. They're going to remake it and hope for the best here. But again, I do have some complaints even with this one. So first off, let's just talk about, before we talk about the manufacturing of this holster and the complaint that I have, let's talk about the holster itself. So, again, for a gun for me, because comfort is an issue with me, and again, you may be different, I find that when I get home, I tend to take my gun off, right? Sitting at my desk, I take them off, right? Now, I did pick up a Taurus Millennia. Got a great deal on this little guy here. This is just a generic Kydex holster I got off eBay. I am going to do a review on this as well. Fits perfect. So this is a nice small gun that is probably the only gun that I will find myself wearing kind of on the back of my hip inside the waistband and not really feeling the need to take it off. But granted, it's one of the smallest firearms made. Taurus G2C is not that much larger, but it is larger. So again, this holster is supposed to be for guys who are getting in and out of cars, sitting a lot. It's supposed to be pretty comfortable. I find it very uncomfortable. And so if you're thinking that this might be a holster that's going to really work for you for comfort, I would suggest you look somewhere else. Because I just don't think that this is the type of holster that's really good for sitting. And I really don't know why I've read that, because it just seems like it's really in a bad spot. Now if you're super lean, have a six-pack, of course, when us guys, we get a little bit older, some of us, I don't have a six-pack, I'm not super lean in the waistline. So when I sit, of course, I do have a little bit of fat there, and so that does kind of, not just add a little cushion, but, it does kind of push on the gun. I find this pretty uncomfortable sitting with, So the other part about it, which I absolutely really hate and why I probably will rarely use this, is because it's a pain in the ass to get it on your belt. You have to take your belt off. When I'm going to wear a gun, or if I'm leaving or in and out of the house, I want it to be something I can take off, on and off with ease. This is not that holster. So first off, you're going to have to take your belt. And I have a pretty awesome slide belt by who makes this one here? I have so many of these things. You haven't checked out these belts. Anson belts, pretty awesome. Basically, you'll take your, this is kind of common sense, but bear with me. You put it through the first strap or the first loop, right? And so what I do with this, or what I have done, is I get it pretty close to the buckle and kind of position the strap where your buckle's going to be. So I'll get it through most of that. The other problem lies where now you have your belt loop on your pants. So in my case, what I'll do is I'll go through this belt loop now. Then I'm going to go through the other loop on the gun. Okay, and then of course I'm going to go around my body. And I'll show you guys what this looks like. And there's pictures all over, the internet where you can see guys wearing it. But it's not the easiest thing, in my opinion, to put on. And I don't mean to like to cry about it here or whine. I'm just saying that, it's more of a process to put it on than a standard paddle holster or a clip-on holster, right? So again, once you get here, I don't have enough slack for the belt. I have to kind of reposition this and pull more slack, get this around. And once you're here, it doesn't slide easily through the leather. So if I need to get this buckle closer, I have to kind of pull it through here a little more. And then I think this should work now. Again, it's just really in the way. And I know the pictures online show, yeah, see, now I got to readjust it here. Now I've got too much. So what I found, and now I pulled the buckle right off my Anson belt. So you can see, this is just more of a struggle to get this thing on than it really should be. And again, that might just be my crummy, my Anson belt I just bragged about falling apart here. But these are removable buckles, so let me just get it on here. But you can see this is already, I'm getting annoyed because this is not what I want to deal with when I'm trying to just get out of the house, right, or get ready. So let me get this back on. Let's try that again. So get it through. And these ratchet belts are, great for something like this because they just kind of self-cinch like a zip tie. All right, so appear to got it on. Again, my buckle's off to the side. Not the easiest thing to position. If you look at guys on YouTube and stuff like that, that's pretty much where they're wearing it, kind of close to the groin area. Standing is pretty good. You can pull your shirt over, but again, it's not something that's super concealable. It's kind of butt out, or the end of the gun's going to kind of pop forward. People are going to think it's something else, right? Man, they're going to be like, "Ooh, you packing?" No, and it's literally, right, packing something else. But and you could wear it more off to the side and have it be further back. But again, a lot of the pictures I see on here, guys carrying this are pretty much towards the groin area, where the butt of the gun is right over the handles, over your zip line. That looks great in pictures when you're posing, but in the real world, walking around with this, it's not really concealed carry. And I know they don't say that these are completely concealed carry, but if you don't mind, if you're going to tuck your shirt in, different story. But I wouldn't expect to carry this in a concealed fashion with clothing like I'm wearing, which is it's not like super fitted, but maybe if you're wearing a big baggy shirt down to your knees, that might cover this up pretty well. But again, that's kind of how it fits. So even with let's just say you're not going to wear it in a concealed fashion, you got to tuck your shirt in or something like that. Looks pretty cool. Naturally, I think it's a good spot. I always like cross draw. Probably because on a side note, if you have any kind of, my shoulders kind of, as I've gotten older, hurt a lot more than they used to, especially after working out, and sometimes it's hard for me to reach back. I get kind of pops and kinks, and so this is kind of very comfortable for me to reach over and grab. Now the downside to this, again, the whole reasoning behind the cross draw is in a seated fashion. This just is completely in the way. Like, this is just digging right into my leg, right into my stomach. And it's just, it feels like I'm putting stress on the leather by me wearing this. It's digging into my leg. It's super uncomfortable. If you're the kind of guy who's in and out of a car, I don't think this is a great holster for you at all. This is great if you're going to be walking around not seated. Now let me just kind of move it around a little bit, and we'll see if maybe we can position this a little differently, whereas maybe instead of wearing it towards the front, let's try moving it more towards the side and see if that makes any kind of difference. It means that you're, of course, going to be reaching further. And again, we have to take it off the belt here. This would have been really nice if these were on clips. So let me get rid of my cell phone here. Get the belt on. I guess this is kind of, I know it's not like the end of the earth, and I don't want people to be like, oh, come on, man, you complained about that. People are always going to say something, but, I just think that it's not the most convenient holster in the world. But again, anything you have to slide on your belt with the belt loops, it's going to be the same process no matter what you get, right? So it's just something you gotta have to deal with. It's, like I said, it's not the end of the world, but all right. So I gotta, again, my belt doesn't go on. I don't have enough slack through here. So let me try. And I'm not trying to make this more complicated than it is. I know it's only gonna take you an extra 5 minutes to wear any of these things. I understand that, but I get annoyed easily. So to me, this is annoying, and any holster like this would be annoying. All right, so let me try that. So we got it moved kind of more off to the side. Again, still pretty close. Sitting down, that's just digging right into the leg. In order for me not to have this dig into the leg, I really got to move this really far around the side. So let me try moving it really far around the side here. Now this won't work here because I'm going to have to skip that belt loop. So let me try to get it through the back loop. And we'll see if we can get this in a position where I could actually recommend somebody carrying this. Because so far I'm not happy with the way this fits. And this isn't an indication of craft. This is just a personal preference on the holster. All right, so again, the belt is just all over the place. I have to kind of, these ratchet belts definitely help. All right, so more off to the side now. You have to reach pretty far to pull, to grab that. It's still doable. Much better in that position as far as sitting. But at this point, why would you have, if you're at this point, I guess if you want to carry two guns, have one cross draw and one standard draw, I guess that would be all right. But for me, I would just assume if I'm going to carry this, I would just assume carry it just a standard gun inside the waistband on my right side, or of course, on the outside of the waistband on this side. I just don't see the point in having it be cross draw all the way over to the side here. I don't think that you gain anything by moving it in a cross draw fashion. It'd just be more of a personal preference, and you could very easily just order a standard, cross draw or standard left hand holster if you want to cross draw. So I don't really see the appeal with having this. I guess it's more of an extreme angle if you were to compare it to a standard, maybe a lefty and using it on this side for a cross draw. But I don't know. I just don't think this is something that I'm going to want to carry in this fashion. I don't think it's any more concealable. I think it sticks out more. yeah, I just don't like it, honestly. I mean, it's really, I mean, with all this talk about it, I just don't see it being a very comfortable holster or a very practical holster at all. Now, again, this is not something that has anything to do with craft. I'm sure there are guys who absolutely love this style of holster, but for me, I don't like it. I probably will never carry like this. I'd much prefer just a standard, you know, if I'm going to cross draw, here's a standard right hand inside the waistband holster. If I want to cross draw, I can very easily pop this right in the front, and this is way more comfortable. Now, granted, it's a much smaller gun, but even sitting, there's not a firearm in the world that you're going to be able to sit and have it be amazingly comfortable. I have this right next to the other thing I'm packing down there, right? So if I get it really close there, I can sit, and with this small gun, it's manageable. I can deal with it. But honestly, I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's going to be off to the side here, more towards the butt cheek, and that, you know, sitting much easier in and out of the car. That makes more sense to me. Now, my buddy, he carries, you know, 45 with just one of those friction holsters. It just sits right inside his waistband. Super comfortable. He's a really small dude, like 120 pounds, very skinny, but he wears baggier clothing than I wear, so you know, he's got more room to kind of put that. But I'm more credit. I give him credit. I can't wear a gun like that. Now let's get to the holster we're talking about here. So first off, again, the problem with the other one, could not get the holster or the gun in the holster. Doused it, saturated it with break-in oil or break-in fluid. Didn't make a difference. This one is better. I was able to wedge it in here with a lot of force. I'm going to leave it in there overnight, see if it stretches out even further. I was able to get it buttoned with a lot of struggling. I mean, it's not something that I was able to just pop in the holster and we'll just take it out here. We go ahead and try it again. If we just put it in like we normally would expect to put a gun in a holster, you would just want to take your gun, put it in there, not have to wedge it in. And if we do that with this, you know, this is still off, right? Like, you really have to wedge this in here. And think about doing that on your body. Like, you're not going to be able to get it at this angle to put that much force on it to get this back in the holster and be able to button that thumb brake. So to me, that's a real problem with the fitment of this holster on this particular gun. Now, there might be a different gun that this fits better. The other issue I have with this, and we're working on this, me and Kraft, and hopefully they can correct this, is that the thumb brake comes way over the top of the gun. If you look at pictures online, the thumb brake is not supposed to come this far over the top of the gun. It's supposed to be coming across the back of the gun. And this holster is sold as a custom-made holster for your firearm. And unfortunately, what I think is going on here is that in this, maybe, I hope not all their models, but at least with this particular gun, this holster, I think, is when somebody orders a cross draw, they basically say, okay, we have our cross draw leather pieces, which would be this pre-cut two pieces that they're going to sandwich together with the mold in between. I think they use some kind of maybe heat, steam, something like that, right? And some pressure. I think what they're doing is these are pre-cut. So the thumb brake is pre-cut. And maybe there's a lot of other guns out there that this fits perfectly and there's no issues. What I would like to have seen, or even more, a better explanation is, even if these are pre-cut, right, and you're putting the Taurus, in this case the G2C, in these two pieces of leather, sandwiching it, hitting it with heat or pressure, and then molding this to the gun, maybe all your other firearms or all the other guns they do, this particular location fits perfectly. To me, a very simple way to correct this would just be to try an experiment with bringing the mold up higher into the gun. Moving the mold up higher. What that would do is bring the whole gun up into this area more, and this might fit better. I just think this is something that I'll be honest with you, the second go around, I would expect that this would have been corrected. Now, a custom-made holster, in my opinion, when you make something that's custom, it's, again, for the gun. So they should this leather should be cut per this gun, not a piece of leather that's been pre-cut and then we just basically mold it. Kind of like what they do with Kydex. You know, when you get a Kydex, you know, if they're going to custom make a Kydex sheath or gun, they have these 2 sheets of Kydex and they basically press it into a mold. And I think the process is similar with this, but generally with a Kydex holster, you kind of trim the Kydex, you mold it. Once it's done, it fits the gun perfectly. And usually I think that they're like a square and then they're cut after the fact. Again, I'm not a holster manufacturer, so I'm just looking at what I've seen online. With this, again, moving the gun up into these 2 pieces of leather would be better, but really, realistically, what's better is that having a piece of leather, 2 pieces that are cut for this gun. Whatever reason, if you look at their website and you look at how the thumb brake fits other guns, and this gun is not in the holster on their website. I forget which model. I think it's a Springfield. That's how they're showing this holster displayed on their site. The gun fits perfectly in the holster. There is no overhang on top, and you can see there's, you know, it's not. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. But it just doesn't. That's not a custom fit to me. I mean, this should not be. It doesn't look like it fits. And if this was sold as a, hey, this is a universal cross-draw holster, it'll fit Taurus G2C, it'll fit Springfield, and you have a whole, like lots of other universal holsters online, then you expect fitment issues like that. But when you're ordering something that's going to cost you almost $70, you don't want. This is not a custom fit to me. To me, this looks like. To me, this looks like a holster I was able to get my hands on, or somebody gave it to me, and I was able to get my Taurus in there. Did it fit? Yeah, it fit, you know. It's like if I couldn't find the Taurus G2 holster, and I said, hey, let me get that one and try it. All right, yeah, it fits. It'll work. It'll work is not something you should be stating with a custom-made holster. Custom-made is guaranteed to work. That's the whole point. So that's really the only gripe I have with this particular holster, and why, although I enjoy getting these holsters and I enjoy sharing with you guys, and I do appreciate the company, I love their customer service, I like the fact that they've went above and beyond with, you know, communication is what I love about this company. If you have a complaint, they're going to take care of you, and that says a lot, especially now in the pandemic that we're in. I mean, you're lucky to get your local bank to call you back, right? I mean, so it's fantastic if somewhere, you know, outside the country, a different part of the world even does that. And I'll tell you that anytime I have any question, it's the same day that I get an email back. And it's not like I have some special email address. The email address that I get communication through with my contact is the same email address that you're going to talk to. The same email you're going to send out if you have a complaint or a problem or a question. That's the kind of service you want. That's custom made. That's custom for you. This, unfortunately, is not. Now, this is a kind of a relatively newer company, and I think as time goes on that they're going to make improvements to get better and better and better. However, it is a company that they're going to take care of you. And I think that most of the holsters that I've received, whether it be the small back holster, my paddle holster for my dad's Taurus revolver, the paddle holster for my Canic, my 1911 paddle holster, my 1911 shoulder holster, all of them have been fantastic. Few minor things, but I mean, this is how companies get better and learn by, you know, interacting with their customers, interacting with people who use their products, try their products, and you know, I think it's a great company, you know, and I definitely look forward to the next review. So let me know if I can help you guys in any way. Again, you have, if you do want to make a purchase to them, go to their store. If you have a question, drop them a comment, drop an email. They're going to get back to you. But if you feel more comfortable dealing with me, you know, send your question to me. I'm more than happy to bump that over my contact, and I'll get you an answer within 48 hours. I mean, I'm really good about getting back to people. So if I can help in any way, I love it when you guys watch my videos and find a product and get it and tell me about how great it is, how happy you are with it. I, you know, enjoy doing that. And again, that, you know, keeps me going. I enjoy working with companies like Craft. I'd be lying if I told you that I don't love getting free holsters. I mean, this is fantastic. You know, it's fantastic to have a relationship with this company. And again, remember, influencers, you know, naturally, you guys are going to say, oh, well, he's getting a free holster. He's going to tell you all the good things. I'm telling you the bad things too. And this is how companies learn. This is a three-way agreement here, a three-way relationship with me, the company, and the consumer. And this is how they get better. This is how they make better products. And I think that that, you know, in time, you know, they're going to be one of the real players out there, and if they're not already. Falco's been around for a while, so remember, if you're ordering a craft and you get this, or you're like, oh, let me try Falco, you're going to get the same thing. So whatever is happening here is happening on the Falco level as well. So, you know, just my opinion. I don't have proof of that, but, you know, the fact that it says Falco, they're putting their name on it. So they're involved. So anyway, guys, if you like the content, subscribe. Let me know if this video was helpful. If it wasn't, then move on. I don't really care because a lot of people do find them helpful. But yeah, I mean, all joking aside, drop me a comment, drop me an email, subscribe to the channel, and if I can help you in any way, I'm always here. Craft, as always, man, guys, thank you so much, man, guys. Thank you for your generosity again in sending me this cool stuff. Guys, stay tuned for the next holster. That will be for the Taurus Millennium. Super teeny 380 auto. Really looking forward to getting that holster. The one they're sending on this go around is a couple magazine holders, and of course this will be an inside the waistband leather holster, which I don't have currently for any of my guns besides the 45, and it's not a Craft, it's a different brand. So looking forward to that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day and take care of yourselves.